Good morning, traders. Welcome to the London room. You're actually in our trading room as it would look if you join us. This is what a trading room would look like. You would have access to this link. You will join the link. You will be in the trading room. What we're going to do today is a little different from what we did in YouTube. We're going to go through the same trades. We're going to do the same recording of all the charts, but it will be a little more interactive. So normally when I come in the room, this is how it's going to go. YouTube viewers, you're going to see this, but you're going to see this a bit late. If you did not register for the links are in YouTube. They're in my last two videos in the description. Go and register and you can join us in this room here live. We're live in our trading room. You will have access to it for until the end of the week, and I think you will have a different feel than when we go live on YouTube. So as I open the room, I'll say good morning to everyone. Everybody knows everybody in this room, so we're going to say good morning, and then we will start. The first thing I would normally do when I come in the room, which is for those who are new to the room today, is we will ask anyone in any trades. Let's start with that. So every one of you can answer to that question. You can either type, you can use your microphone. We will normally look at trades the traders are in from the Asian session or that they took by themselves. In the Pong sell from yesterday, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I think you grabbed that one at the top here, right, from this small consolidation. If you did, that's excellent, right? Right there from that consolidation. If you get it, there was another sell here this morning. You got it from there, right, Edgar?
Yeah, from top.
Great. So there's another sell here. If you miss all of this, don't worry very much because eventually it will stop and consolidate, right? Eventually this will start. You see when this moved that much, it made a consolidation. So this will start to make a consolidation. Of course, it will be better to get it from here. But if you don't, then this will make a consolidation and then we'll try to get that trade to come down. Remember, the move we're looking for in the Pong is not only to come back to this low, but to actually break through. Because we're making the assumption that this whole thing is finished. If that is not finished, then you're going to have another flat like this. 1, 2, 3. You'll need a flat like that, right? Because we don't have divergence. So you need this to come down, go back up like that, come back here, then make a new high and then drop, which means we'll get a flat like this. For my traders, you know why we would need this to happen, and we need a new high for that to happen. Traders who are new to the room might not know why we were looking for the pattern this specific way. Right? That is when you complete the whole wave analysis wave, of course, you will understand that idea, that you would need one of this like this before you can look for divergence at the top there, and then the drop. So we would make the assumption now that it is going to drop without divergence. And that means any trade here is a good one. If you're in the trade, perfect. If you're not in the trade, wait for a flag. I think now you wait for a 1 hour flag because there's already been 2 50 minutes flag. That is this one and this one. If you miss those two, then what is going to happen? You start to see a small divergence there. You're going to get a 1 hour flag starts to form. Right? So we'll wait for this to pull back. At some point, starts making a 1 hour consolidation. And then we'll go with that trade. There's no point joining a 15-minute at the bottom here. That is too risky. Right? You ought to get a 15-minute from the very top here. So that is one trade. Anybody in any other trade? We tried to trade the Asian session, the news this morning. I think only one trade we got in, and that was a loss because it actually tagged really fast and came back down here. Tagged us at the top, we were in the buy. And that dropped really fast, so that turned out to be a loss. Nothing else tagged. So this one was purely accidentally tagged us because we were away from everything else and we didn't get tagged in the sells. But the buy tagged us and it didn't go. Now it's dropping. I don't think this is the start of the downside because we haven't broken the top. So that means I think this could be a bigger flat here and we could go back up one more before we drop. We'll see if that is what it's doing because the mere fact that it's not coming from the very top is not very nice. It means that you either look at this as a really huge flat at the top there, which is rare. That is really big. Most likely, I think we'll retest the top and then come. If it starts making a consolidation here, we'll sell. But not a 15-minute consolidation. You will need a 1 hour consolidation to confirm you're actually going the opposite direction. Whether we're literally going down. Okay, anyone in any other trades? Any one of you guys in any other trades? Not half of our traders are here as yet. I'm not sure if they haven't registered or they can't find the access, or some traders will still be looking for YouTube live access. Eventually they'll get it, right? It takes a while. As traders, you should be very keen to details. New Zealand yen. Okay, anybody in the New Zealand yen sell? You could have got the New Zealand sell from there. If you closed and re-enter, right? If you close this and re-enter, you would be back in this one. So this trade is a very good one. So if you took this trade and it came here, it went back. There was no reason to close it because it went 1, 2. This trade came back here and it went back. So let's say you took break even at this point. I can see why you probably would have taken break even, put an entry here, you're in this trade. This trade is going really good. So I can see that at least 2 people are in it. That's good. I hope more of you are taking it because I couldn't have stressed this trade yesterday anymore, right? I think I literally stressed, we stressed this trade in the Asian session. Well, Ivan was there. I'm glad Ivan is in, right? Hanan is in. I hope more, anybody else in this trade, because we literally, I mean, I couldn't have been more thing that you want the sell in this trade, right? It was a giveaway. You need to be in this trade. That makes 3 of us. I'm in the trade as well. So it's 3 of us in this trade because they give away. You can't ask for a better setup than this. It's at the very top. It's coming down. We had 3 arrows. We had an arrow like this and one there. And I said, if you didn't get any of this and you didn't get any of it, don't miss this one. Right? So that's 4 of us. That's good. Don't miss it. Like, don't miss it. It's simple. It's that easy. It's not a difficult trade. These are classical flats. So here's what's going to happen. You still have a chance of getting into this trade. It's not going to drop to the bottom in a single move. It could start to go slow, but it's not going to go in a single move. So any flag you get from now, sell. Any flag we get, we will sell. It will probably make deep pullback like this as well. I will decide if I want to live through the deep pullback because it's not going to be one pullback. See, they made one here. They go back. And if I see the possibility of this coming back like this for running flat, and I think, let's say I'm in here, and if it comes here, make a deep one, and I think I want to live through that, I might, depending on the first size. The size of the first pullback, but if it is deep and then it comes back here, I might close the trade, let it go, and then sell again from there, rather than wait, right, for that deep pullback. Rather than wait for this deep pullback, you close the trade here and you sell it back from here, right? You close the trade in here and you sell it back from here or from here. You're in the same trade, but you don't have to live through this. See the difference is you still have to go to sleep. So there's no point staying in the trade if that is going to happen. So this one is coming. It probably will make more flags than the 15 and 1 hour. We can sell if we get another flag because that's a 1 hour consolidation. So if you get a 15 minutes one, we can sell it. We don't need to wait for a 1 hour again. It will make a few 15 minutes down, then probably another 1 hour that will be deep. Aussie Yen also. Well, the Aussie Yen, that broke the top. This morning we saw this. We didn't buy it because we assume it's going to break the top and come right back. And that's what happened. It's making a flag here. Let's see what it looks like at a 15. Yep, that's a good 15-minute flag now. You realize they made a low here. So they kind of pull back and drop and make a low here. Now this should start to make something like this. We're going to either look, depends on the size of this, we're going to look at this as expanding flat, or we're going to assume that this is the start of the upside, this one here, which means that this could start to do that and do this, and then that would be a trade. You don't need to put it exactly now because you don't have a lot of candles here. If you go in the hourly, it's just 1 hour. See, that's 1 hour sideways. This was the low. This is 1 hour sideways. Give it 2 or 3 hours, and it's a sell setup. It will be a 15 minutes flag. Once this break the top and start to do that, you'll get a 15 minutes flag. We're looking for a sell. So if you want to put the entry on it now because you think it's going to drop a lot more, you have to keep a stop here. Right? So that's the entry. What is the trade? Let's see where this would go. Well, I think this one is easy, right? The easy part is it coming. Is how fast that one moved? Is how fast this one moved? It's coming here, right? That is if we make this big expanding flat in there, right? It's kind of WXYXZ. If not, we're coming to retest this low, which means we're coming for the bottom. That is this move down. If we're going for this move, I think we will start to see some deep corrections. Once it come here, we'll start to see some really deep corrections. If we're going for these moves, we'll probably just keep moving all the way to the bottom. So which one is it? I don't know it yet. We'll know when we get there, right? So let's wait and see. Aussie Yen, New Zealand Yen, good trades. Wait for this one. If you're not in this trade, you can wait for those who are in the trade. Good job. Just wait. It still is going to go. It's probably just consolidate and go. So any other trades, anybody in? Okay, no. So let's go and look at them now. We'll start with the majors. Let's start with dollar index. Dollar index. Dollar index reverse. Remember I said at the bottom here, the last thing you want to do is sell. So if you missed that, if you're watching this video for the first time and you haven't seen the 2 videos we did yesterday, go back and watch them because there's a consistency of how we look at the trades, and that will help you to understand why and how we do that, why we didn't sell there. right? Why selling at the bottom here was literally dangerous. Look for a buy setup. Now, if you were trading very early in the morning, you probably could have gotten this. Most of us were not there when this move happened, right? When this piece happened, this was where you could have buy, but nobody was there. So assume you will have to wait for a flag. So what we'll do now is we'll wait for this to make a correction, something like this. They always do. And this will be the buy setup to go back to the top. Now, here's the thing. You will look at the pattern and you'll decide, is that enough for it to go back? We made the assumption that this is 1, 2, 3, and this would go back up. That's the assumption we're making when we buy. That's not necessarily what is going to happen, but that's the assumption you will make. That's the only reason you buy it, right? Now, a number of things could happen here. And we don't know which one of those is going to happen. One is that this could be the start of another big flat like this. Let's say this correction is too small and we are going to make a 1, 2, 3 again. We go up 1, we start to come down back here 2, we go for 3, and we come back here. That gives you another flat. Possible, possible. This is still a trade, right? We'll still buy. The next thing that could happen is that instead of going up, this thing starts to come back here. Go back there, make a flat, and then drop. So we will not get a buy setup because there will be no flag here to buy. It's going to work its way down. We might eventually buy this one. If we figure out that that is a flat, and I think we will figure out that's a flat, we'll look for a sell setup here to go down. Right? So when we get a sell setup, we'll see. We'll definitely be looking for more downside on this trade. For now, I'm taking it as a flat for upside. So we're looking for a buy setup. We'll put in looking for a buy setup, wait for a flag buy. Silver. Yep, there's a reason also yesterday we said, although this looks like a flag, we're not buying it. Because there was no buy. We didn't sell it also because it looks really much like a flag to the upside. Instead, we sold gold. If you remember, I said, silver might drop because you're in the consolidation. Right? We know this was going to drop. We just didn't have a proper sell setup. And in that case, the best thing to do is not to sell it. Why take the risk? It could have tagged you here and go higher and then come down. So we're coming down where to? We're making a flat. We have 1, 2, 3. Once we break this low, we're likely going to go back up for that move. And then if we go up for that move and we make a running flat there, which would likely be a running flat because we might break this low, we still have to come back for this move. And if all of that happens, we'll take off. Again, this is the pattern we can forecast based on what we have. What pattern it will make is a whole different story. We'll have to wait and see. So selling this here at the bottom might not be the best trade too. All it needs to do is break this low. So I would say let it happen. Wait for the up move, wait for a flag, and we're buying this one. We know what that would look like. We actually bought it here, we bought it here, we bought it here. Right? So we're going to buy it here and we're going to hope to keep it all the way to the top. And then we'll look for the sell side. If it becomes more complicated than that, as it becomes complicated, we're going to figure it out. For now, we're going with that simple version. The sell and the goal was perfect. This is a simple trade and it's perfect. You can't ask for an easier trade. Now we're at the bottom. Think of taking profit. First thing you should do is move your stop to this level. Once it makes another pullback drop, move your stop there. It makes another pullback drop. It makes a pullback and it's not breaking the low. And it starts to go back up, you think of taking profit. And that means that that is over and we likely go back up. Now, this has a 1, 2, 3. This has a 1, 2, 3. This has a one very small 1, 2, 3. So the sharpest one is this one and this one. This is not the sharpest one. Right? So we might still, all of this might still be part of the correction. We just don't know that as yet. So let's see what this does. Structurally, it should go back up. Should go back up. It will either go back up like this or it will go back up really slow. Can it go back up like this? I think that's a possibility. Right? With a lot of pullback, deep pullback like this. And if we see that happen, we'll get one more of this down and then upside. This structure will be a running flat, but a different running flat. Totally different. But let's see. Let's look for buy setups. There's no point looking for sell setups at the bottom here. We look for buy setups. Now, the only way you'll get a sell setup if it makes another flag like that. So if it stays here for the next 6, 7, 8 hours, yes, we will sell it. If it reverses and give you a small flag here in 3 hours or in 2 hours, you're buying. So any 15 minutes flag to the upside, we buy. Downside, you would need a flag like this to sell. So you will need it for hours and hours. So now we take out the sell and we look for a buy setup. That's trading. Right? Welcome to wave analysis. You can trade it both ways. So when we had this move up, if you looked at my last previous weekly outlook, not yesterday, the one previously to that, I remember commenting on this because it was at the top here. And somebody sent me the video with a guru saying, "Oh, well, you should not touch gold anymore because it's going to come down here." And he's not interested in the sell. He's not selling it because it's going to go up to the top. So he's only interested in the buy. Well, this is about the third or the fourth sell we are taking profit off. I think he's still probably not selling it. Or if you watch my video, maybe he's even in my group. So a lot of them are in my group. Maybe he's still in my group. So he must change his mind already about it. We're selling. There is no point saying you're not going to sell it or buy it. We'll do both. We'll sell it and we'll buy it as long as we get a setup to do that. And we figure out that there's risk to reward in the trade. Because you don't know that it's going to come and rest and stop. None of us know that. And this could work its way down all the way back to the bottom. In terms of the patterns and the structure that you're looking at, that's a possibility. Hasn't any one of us seen an expanding flat like this before? If you've never seen an expanding flat like that, well, then you still have to learn a lot. I've seen expanding flats like that. So I will not be surprised if this actually works its way down back to the bottom here and then go up. Wouldn't we sell it? Of course. Well, that's what experience is about. Understanding what the possibilities are and how you're going to trade it. Screening out aloud that you will not sell is inexperience and lack of knowledge. That's a vast difference between what we do and what you get out there. The difference is that if you've seen this, you know it's possible. Then there's no point saying I would never sell this. It's going to go to the top there. Now, I believe it's going to go up because I believe we might be dealing with this contracting flat here in the middle, right? This bigger one here. This could be the contracting flat you're dealing with. 1, 2, 3, and they actually go. But that might not be it as well. If that is not it, then we're still open for that possibility of that being the expanding flat. So only time shows that. Come back here. If we get another sell set up, guess what? We'll take it. But it will take you a number of hours. Take about 6 to 10 hours before you get a sell set up. This one took us how much? You can measure the time to understand how long you wait for another sell set up. That took about 10 bars. That's 10 hours. At least 10 hours, 6 to 10 hours before you get a sell setup. The buy setup you can get within the next 2 hours. It needs to do this in an hour, and it needs to do this in the next 2 hours. And we're buying. That's all we need. A small 15-minute flag for the buy, and we're in the trade. Euro, let's go. Yeah, we weren't buying euro also yesterday because there's no point buying it here. It's at the top of this structure. And if you understand that, you wouldn't buy. Those who jump into the buy are still trying to figure out why. So what we do is we wait for a sell setup here now. I think we'll get a flag like that. We normally, here's a good one. This one came low. This one was pretty nice. This one was perfect. So let's assume it's going to do this. See, this one drop that much and then do that. So we want something like that now, and then we're trading it down to the bottom. There's a lot to go. This could be all the correction. And we break through the low. So let's see if it's going to do that. Look for sell setups. If this is going to go back up, we don't have a buy setup here again. We still don't have anything to buy. Right? It's still, even if you think that is an expanding flat, you'll have to wait for this to go and make a flag or buy above the top. So there's no buy setup here. Okay, this one is easy. You should be in from there. You should be in from here. If you're not, wait for another flag and sell. You probably wait for the hourly flag. Then that'd be about 4 to 5 hours. Aussie, remember I said, if Aussie starts to go down, we will probably not get the sell. We'll have to wait. But if it goes up, we'll buy it. It didn't go up. It actually stopped short. It did break the top. We closed the trade. We put the entry above that top. And then it started. It came down really slow here. So I was still hoping that they'll go up and break it up. It pulled back pretty deep. Now you have to wait. If it's going to come back and retest this low, we have to wait for it to make a flag here. a correction, something before you sell it. Now, I don't see any reason why Aussie should go down. I don't see any reason why it should go down from here, because as it stands right now, this is a perfect flat pattern. This is a perfect correction for upside. And if this should drop, then we have a problem as to where we put this piece. We can make an assumption. The closest we'll ever get to is putting it like this, as an expanding flat like that. That would be the best possibility. Not good enough, but the best one that we have. And any flag here will sell. So if we get a flag, we will still sell. We'll figure out the patterns later. We'll sell it. Now, any chance of a buy setup, we will not miss it. Now, when you look for in a buy setup, see this deep pullback here? See all those deep pullback in this one? It still went up. So I'm assuming that is a deep pullback in a possible upside. So if it is a deep pullback, this is what will happen. It will go up like this, really slow. At the start of it, we will think it's a flag, so we'll put an entry and we'll put an entry dollar here. But instead of dropping, it will probably still go up. Right? And when it gets to the top there, we're going to pull this trade. We're going to wait for it to drop, and then we're going to buy it to go up. So if as soon as you see a flag starts to form, we will put an entry on the first sell. If we're right about it, it drops, we will be in the sell. If it goes back to the top, we'll assume it's making a flat here for upside. Now, here's the thing. Can Aussie stay in this range here, this sideways move here, while Euro and Pound drop? I think we all can agree that that is a possibility. If we see that starts to happen, you go to the Euro Oz and the Pound Oz, because if this goes sideways and Euro drop and Pound drop, Euro Oz and Pound Oz will drop. So if we see that, we'll go to the Euro Oz and Pound Oz and see if we have any possibility that they can drop. Any reason that they can drop. If they can drop, we'll go with it. If this comes down pretty sharp, Euros and Pogos goes up. So we'll see, we'll look at the structures and the flags that are forming and decide whether we have sells and buys, and then we'll look at the crosses to see the best trades. So you need a flag here now. Go to the 1 hour, wait for it to make a flag. I think we'll get one. It's starting to consolidate. This might be the first hour going sideways. Literally, that's the first one that didn't break the low. So you need a couple more like that. And then we'll get a flag. Should it make a sharp move up? Wait for a flat. Should this continue to go up? Wait for a pullback. We might even sell that, and then we look for the buy. We're not going to be buying into this because we don't know what it's going to do. It will be a flag or a deep correction. We don't know that. So let's wait. So this one we'll take out and we'll put wait for a flag to sell now. New Zealand, same thing. We'll wait for a flag to sell. And that could change by tomorrow. See? So this one didn't break out. We didn't get a trade. We'll take that off. That turns out to be the top instead of a running flat. We came down. Again, this one is similar to the Aussie. I don't see any reason why they should go down back. And we definitely don't have anything for this. So if this starts to go down, right, starting from the very top here, we don't have anything for that. And sometimes you do get deep pullback, right? Look at this move here. See that depth of that pullback to the top there before it dropped? So that doesn't mean that it's going down. That means that's the first impulse and a possible flat, right? So can it repeat even this thing? See this one, it pulled back, it went up, it pulled back, it went up, it pulled back, it went up, and then it did that, making a huge correction here. That's possible. Look at this one, pull back there, went down, and just came here. So this could start to go back up. Come here and then just take off. We'll get this. We just have to wait and see which one it gives us. But if it's a flag, we will sell, right? So we're going to put wait for a flag to sell because there will be no buy setup. We're not going to buy it here, assuming it's going to go up to the top. If it goes up, make a flag, we'll consider whether we have a risk to reward trade back to the top. So if it comes here and make a flag, we might consider taking this up to see how high it goes. It's still going to go up. Maybe it stop here and go back. We'll take break even, and then we'll sell it. So let's see. If it's going to go sideways, they're going to come back to the low most often like this. So the first impulse up will give us an indication whether we're going to be making a flag or most likely a deeper correction to upside. Just patience. Yen. Well, although we had a flat forming here, remember we also identified the bigger trade to the upside, right? But with a flat like that, you will put a sell setup. You wouldn't put a buy setup, right? We have this flat. Once you get a flat forming at the bottom here, I think at the 15 it's much clearer. See, once you get 1, 2, 3 forming here, and this is going back up, you will put a sell setup here because it could have done this. Tag the top, drop here, and then go up. And we don't know how low this would have dropped. So you take the trade, always. Well, the trade didn't happen. Instead, it went up. So this is still a flat. That didn't change. Instead of this impulse, go there and come back, it kept going. Well, if you were in at this hour of the day trading, this would have been a buy. By rule, that's a buy setup first. Right? So when you do wave analysis and you see this consolidation here, that is a buy setup because it didn't reverse, it consolidated. So what we look for here now is another one to buy. I think we're going to go tag the top. We're going to break this top and then turn because we're completing this running flat. See the bigger one. There are 2 running flats here. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. We're completing both of them. And now this should go and break the top. So very likely this will go break the top. If we get any consolidation here, we're buying to the top. It could move fast. It doesn't have to go slow because that's an impulse. Well, from there, we look for sell setups again because we still have the possibility of this big one dropping. After we completed that, the only one left to complete would be this one. We still have that open. And this has a lot of correction in it. So breaking that top, we can drop. Let's see if we get there. First, we need to get to the top. So come back here and wait for a flat. What if I'm wrong about that? And the flat, let's take this out. And the flat actually ended here and this one was it. And that's a deep pullback. What if? Well, then it starts to drop, make a flag here, we sell. Right? For my traders, you can leave an entry order here. Right here. Just in case. Right? You can leave an entry order to sell. You don't have to worry about it. The only purpose of that entry order is, well, we notice the Japanese, the bank, central bank want to drop yen, right? Want to make yen stronger. So they could probably do that. And should they do that, we want to be in that trade. So for that purpose, we'll keep an entry order here as a sell. And it's only for this move. It's not for a slow move down. Should this thing start coming down really slow like this, we'll take off this entry order. And that is a surprise drop only. And we do have surprise drops sometimes. So wait for a flag, get in the trade to the upside. Wait for a flag buy. Swiss, okay. Wait for a flag buy. I think Swiss is, we have these 3 sharp moves here. We broke out of this structure. Let me show this for traders who are new in the thing. We broke out of this structure to the upside. Now that's a forecast we had a while back. And it's not only with this candle, we actually had this one coming to break this low, right? So the first forecast was this move coming from here to break this low because we figured out we were in this structure. I think you can see that pretty clear, right? So the idea was if they're going to stick in that structure, they'll come back to break this low, and then we'll go back to the top. Now, there's a good chance we can break out. But that's a long way from now, right? So 1 second, guys. If it is going to break out, see that 1, and then they make a flat here for 2, and then they went for the 3. See that breakout there, 1, 2, 3. So we might be in the 1. We're making a consolidation here. That's on the daily. Let's assume we already made the first impulse up. That is this one. Now we're making a consolidation. The consolidation has 2 pieces. 1, 2. That's all. So we need to see what's happening here. Does this consolidate it here and make the core correction? Then it'll come back here, go back there, come back here, and then go. That would be your flat. That is the simplest possible flat that could form here now based on what we have. It could get really complex, much more complex than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back on the 1 hour. And we're going to wait to see what happens here. If it makes a flag, we buy. If this thing stays here and make a flag here, we buy. The chances are it's going to go up really slow. Come back here and then go. If it starts to drop, we sell. Because then it's going to break this low. And that changes the pattern that I just showed you. We'll relook at it and tell you what's the next big possible pattern. So it's a sell setup, but I don't think we'll tag that. We'll wait, see if we get a flag, but now we should leave it as a sell. CAD. My voice is a little weird, right? Because I do have a flu, I should let you know. CAD, I showed you this pattern yesterday. I told you the possibilities of why we're not selling there, that it's going to probably go up. We showed you that one, and we showed you the possibility of it going up, coming down back, making this one, and then go, right? Give me 1 second, please. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So it's going up now. What we need here is a flag so that you can buy. I don't think there was a flag anywhere here. There was a 15-minute flag if you were trading there yesterday afternoon. The closest you could have got to it was this one. Now, you probably would put an entry order here only after you see this, because the first thought was that it's going to drop there. Right? This would be a running flat, and it's going to drop. That should be your first thought. If that wasn't your first thought, you got everything wrong. And then when it stayed here and consolidated, you would consider that, you know what, maybe this is just a small flat here and they're channeling down and now they're going up. Well, wait for another flag. It will make another flag, probably a 1 hour flag now. Something like this would be perfect. Something like this would be perfect for that trade. So if it does this and start to do this, that would be a perfect one for upside. We'll try to get it from the bottom here. Let's see how that works, right? So or if it just makes a simple flag, we'll buy it. We need to break the top, and the chances are we will come back down, right? Remember I told you, you should watch Monday's first webinar. We are going to break that top before we drop. How high we go when we break that top is well, that's a big question, but we will break it. So I can move this one from there to here, and I can move this one just about like that, right? So I think we will definitely get to that top. I'm going to take out this. This was the sell. Those were the 2 sells we had. Now we're looking for buys. So look for a flag to buy. Euros. Okay. This morning we saw this flag, this small flat here. But it was the news, and I wasn't sure that when they break this top, they will not drop, right? Because remember, this looks like a flat. Now we're at the top, so we're in this structure here. The whole thing looks like this. Let's put it like this. This is what that whole thing looks like. Now, this looked very corrective. So we thought this one was going to go break the top, which actually started very nice, pulling back, pulling back. But then they pull back pretty deep here. So we'll have to take this out and relook at the structure. So let's go 1 higher daily. We came from the top here, came down, and this started to go up. On the weekly, this is the whole structure. Now, it depends on how you look at that. It really depends on how you look at this whole thing to decide what is actually happening here. Because you can make an argument for this being a correction and for this being a correction, separate corrections. You make an argument that this is an expanding flat in the middle and this is all one piece. Also work good. So now you have 1, 2, 3. All of that within this move. Can we make an argument that that is over? If we pull a trend line like this, can we make the argument that that whole thing there is over and we're going down now? Now you really want to see it drop like this if it's going down. Can it drop like this, make a pullback and still drop? That is possible, right? So while we're at the top here, you can see that little divergence, internal divergence, we call it at the top there. Chances are, is that the turning point, which is between these two. See that divergence there? It's actually from here. So since we have a lot of divergence in this, the question is it going down? You'd actually, I think we can make an argument for running flat here, or you could put them as separate corrections of their own. It doesn't matter. The question is now, is this going down or is this making a bigger flat for upside? Both of those are possible. So we go to the 4 hour and we're looking at it now. We have 1. I wouldn't go with this as a running flat to that because this one is not breaking the top. If originally we had that top, you'll have to get rid of it. Now, the question is whether we put these two as running flats, right? Let's see which is the low here. I think the lowest point is this. See, this is the lowest one. That was a correction before we dropped. So you can put this like that. Now we had a correction here, and then they actually went up, came back down, and went up. So you can make an argument for this being a separate correction of its own, this piece. Right? Total separate correction of its own. This is an up move that's slow, and this one is a correction of its own. You can make that argument easily, right? That means we can put this also as a correction of its own. Or you can decide to pull these two for a running flat. It's not the best running flat. You don't have a big correction in there. You got another correction here. You went up. And now we're making another correction here. Now, this correction here looks very similar to this one. See this here? This one is pretty similar. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually comes back here and then go up all over to the top. Now, if that happens, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3. And if we get that, we go up one more. Now, if this works its way down to the bottom, like drop here and then do this and do this, and then go back up, we'll get 1, 2, 3, and then this will totally drop. So it depends on which flat we get here. We'll decide whether we're dropping or whether we're going back up. All depends on how much you come back into this one, right? So go to the 1 hour. We're at the top there now. Take this out. This would definitely not be a sell. We have this very sharp wave, we drop, and then we get that one. As of now, we were looking at them as a possible running flat. What if we're wrong about the running flat? What if this is a correction of its own? Right, kind of a 1, 2, 3. Well, this 1, 2, 3 could be a flat of its own, or it could be part of a running flat that forms here. And then come back down before it goes. So at the top here, we either go back down here and then go, or we go with this contracting flat, 1, 2, 3, and this makes a flag here and go. Simple. Get a flag, buy. Buy to break this down. If you don't get a flag, wait for it to drop, make a flag here and then sell. So two ways you look at this. Go to the 50 now. It stays at the top here and consolidate, we buy. If it stays here, we buy. If it drops, make a flag, we sell. So which one? Let's wait and see. So I'll take this off both ways possible. You're in New Zealand. This was a clear buy. There was no second guessing this one. That was a perfect flat. Actually, you should have been tagged here. And remember, I told you we'll tell you how we manage trades. Well, if you were tagged there and you were in my group, you would have to close that trade before it drops here. So if you were in this trade and it tagged you here and it came then back and it went back and it tagged you here and then opened and went back, even before this drop, you should, if it opened and dropped here first, then you will probably still be in the trade. Right? If this drop, open, drop here, then go back up, you'll still be in the trade. But if you manage to close it on this wick here, on the 15, you saw that consolidation there and you closed it there before this drop, good for you. Right, if you closed it before this drop, and then you put the entry order above the top. So you'll be in this trade going. And if you're in that trade going and you close that trade anywhere here, you did excellent. Right, if you start to see that pull back and you close it, you did. If you're not, wait for this to go back there. Close that trade because it's going to come a little deeper. And there's no guarantee that it doesn't go down totally, right? So you're in New Zealand, what we're looking for? I think we're going up, right? So the only question is this part of the correction? If that is part of the correction, then this can make a new low. We will take this to be a running flat. And then we'll come back here and then go there. If this is not part of the correction and it belongs to the up move, then we have 1, 2, 3. This will make a flag here and go. So any flag here we buy, any drop on the consolidation, we'll consider if we get a sell setup to the low. because after that is upside. So where's Euro New Zealand taking us? It's taking us to break this top. And when we break that top, we're going to be in this structure. So when we break this top, we're likely going to break this top. And there's a high probability when you break that top, this one will just continue to go. And then probably come down because you would have 1, 2, 3. With this being a 1, 2, 3. So while we're buying there, the buy is a good idea. And we have a good buy setup. We took it yesterday. If you're in this trade still, right? And then or if you want to still keep the trade, wait for this. If it comes back to the top, this is the first candle, close it. Put an entry. If you exit and you want to re-enter, put an entry above the top. If you didn't have an exit, which means if you didn't take this trade, wait for this to make a flag. So we need a flag here. And then we're taking this trade up. Let's see. We don't have a sell setup yet. So I'll click the buy to buy setup because that trade is gone. Euro yen, let it go, look for sell setups. It could go higher. Don't buy it, look for sell setups. Okay, Euro CAD didn't drop. It actually went up and they're consolidating here. Now, can we make a new high in the Euro CAD and still drop? That is possible. So far, we're not making a new high, but we can make a new high. We're in this structure, see? Like that. We got to move down and move up and move down and we're here. So if this turns out to be the consolidation and go back up like that, then we will drop here, go back there, come here. Maybe this is a flat for downside. Or maybe this is a 1, 2, 3 for upside and then drop. So anywhere at the top there, we look for a sell setup coming down. Right? There's no point looking for buy setups at the top there. And finish what it's doing and we look for a sell setup. Euro Swiss. Okay, so you could have been tagged by this trade. Yep, at this point you could have been tagged by the trade, and that you should have a stop here or here, which means you're taking a loss on this, right? Because right now, if you actually bought it above this impulse, most likely you keep a stop under this one. It's more like it's gonna most likely be a loss. Your stop should be here. So either they go take you out now or they go back up. Most likely, I think it's gonna take you out, right? Because it's starting to look like this is gonna correct itself deeper. So that could be a loss. We're not turning it yet. We're waiting for that turning with turn, but we are not turning it yet. So let's go back to the 15. If for us to turn, we need to make a top. And I don't think this is your top. Because if that was the top, then this sharp pullback here doesn't make sense. It has to pull back again. So if you go with that as the top like this, let's take all of this. It means that this here would have to either start making a flag or come back here and then drop. Like that. Or starts making a flag at the bottom there for downside. Whichever comes first. Now, I don't think it's a top. I think there's still one more to go. So let's wait and see. So this could be a loss. This definitely would be a loss if you took that trade because it didn't break the top. We were expecting it to break the top. So we take that out. Take this here. Euro pound, sell setup. You got out of this trade. We actually did this live in the New York session. Once it make that move there, I said on the 1 or if this doesn't go through, if that candle doesn't go through, close the trade. If that candle doesn't go and break the low, close the trade. You had that one candle, then it went the back, stop, second candle, close the trade. All right, because if these candles are consolidating here, you go up back. So what would this be in the 4 hour? Let's see. Yep, it can either drop again because this was a deep pullback. See that deep pullback there? This was a deep pullback. This could be a deep pullback here and drop. Or we start getting a big flat here and then we go. Well, let's see which one it is. With the Euro CAD. Euro Swiss, sorry. Euro pound, which one is it? Is it the Euro pound we're in? I think Euro Swiss we were trading. Yep, the Euro Swiss, the one that actually is a loss. So if we're gonna sell this, we need a flag. Wait for it to make a flag. And then we sell. If it reverses to go back up, we'll put this entry like this. We'll look for a flag or we'll buy it again to break this up. This time I think it will go. So if you get a move up like this, and we get a flagger, we'll take that trade up. Let's wait and see. For to sell, you have to get a correction here. Euro pound. So the sell, you close the tier. Yeah, this was what I was explaining. We closed that when it pulled back here in the hourly. You had enough time to close the tier if you saw that it's going sideways. That's upside. We're getting a flat here. Right, so go back to the 1 hour. That's a buy setup. Take this out. Go for a buy. Look for a buy setup. Now be careful in that buy might just go one more up and still come down like this. See, just one more up and it can still drop like this. So we'll keep our eyes on that. There's no divergence at the bottom. That's a good sell setup actually once it go there. Right now it's an active buy. Pangos. Okay, we broke out of this structure. So now, only two things we need to worry about. One is this part of the correction? If it is, then this will go one more down. And then go. We'll have this. And then go up for this 1, 2, 3. If that is not part of the correction, then we'll have to put this as a standalone correction. You get this, you get 1, 2, 3. This one could pretty much go break the top. So we wait and see if we get a flag there if they start to reverse. That will take a while. Neither of those trades are going to come fast. You need a 3 more hours for the buy, and the sell will have to drop and give you a 3-4 hours more. So no trade for that. Pound Yen sell setup, it's pretty easy. We already have a flag. We just need to get the sell setup. Pound New Zealand, there was a buy setup here. This was a buy setup yesterday. We didn't take the trade, but this was a buy setup we didn't take because the contractor flat didn't go in. It pulled back. This would have been a buy if you were there because this is a simple flat. It's not a complex one. This is 1, 2, 3. We broke the low, put the entry there. Wait for another one. Wait for something that when just goes a little sideways like that. So let's see. This looks like a good trade. Can it drop one more? Let's see. Probably can, but I don't think it will. Right? There's a likelihood you have to make a really big flat like that before it drops. So let's wait and see. It looks more upside. So Pound CAD. Okay, we haven't insured it because I think this is a perfect running flat there. It's going really slow. I wouldn't buy it inside here because if it goes so slow and this becomes a correction for a drop, right? We don't want to be in the trade. We want them to prove they could break out of this. And then it's a good trade. So inside here, not worth it. Pound Swiss, sell setup. You should probably be in that sell already. That is from this morning. It can pull back one more if it's making a running flat. Right, this can pull back one more. Okay, this looks like the correct part of it. This piece looks like the correction. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2. It can go back there for 3 and then drop. If it stays here too long, close the trade. Put an entry under the low. We're there for how many hours now? Just 1 hour. So give it 2 hours. If it's there for more than 2 hours, put the entry above the top, put down, close the trade, put the entry there, put a stop just below it. We'll show you that in the, just remember this trade because we'll show you how we followed this trade in the New York session. Right now it's a sell. It's a valid sell. Aussie Swiss. Wait for flag sell. Remember we were looking for a move down like this. What if that is the move? Then it's gonna go up, make a flag and go. So if that is all, we're gonna go up here, make a flag, go. We'll buy this. If it's going down, stay here and make a flag. And we'll sell, just like this. So let's wait and see which one. Aussie Yen. Okay, finally we're getting the flag, right? Told you you're gonna get a flag. It's already 1, 2, 3. You can put your entry on it. That's a sell setup. That's a confirmed sell. More like a 50-minute flag. Good to go. It went up, it's coming down. If it drops, it'll be in the trade. It's very small. I think they'll stay here. I think we'll see the next couple hours here. So let's see if we get that. But it's a sell setup. Okay, Aussie CAD. Yep, wait. If it stays here long enough, we'll sell it. But this is only one candle. Aussie New Zealand. Well, you might be tagged here. If it stays here too long, close the trade, put an entry under low. If it goes from here, this is good. We wait for the reversal. I think it's mostly downside. New Zealand Yen. Wait for flag sell. You should be in the sell already. We can wait for flag and sell this one. Let's get it. Wait for a flag and put an entry under the low. It's not much of a flag, it's just one piece. See, that's one piece up. And there's some smaller one, I don't think they belong to it, but we'll see. New Zealand Swiss. Wait for a flag to sell. It looks more downside now. And the New Zealand Swiss looks like it's going to drop more. There is this sharp move here also, so if it's going to go up, we wait for it to go up, make a flag sell. But if it makes a flag here, sell. Any flag we get there will go to sell. It's CAD and Yen showing this. CAD and Yen sell setup. Let's see if that drops. CAD Swiss. I think we can look for a sell setup. So I don't see any setup here. It should break this low. So if it starts to go down, we'll wait for a sell setup. Most likely running flat. So most likely this will pull back here, make a running flat like that, and then we'll look for a sell. And New Zealand CAD. Good. So what we do here is this is very corrective. Let's put an entry here for a buy setup. Assuming it's going to go back up all the way to the top. Should it make a flag lower than that? Take the flag. Right? If it makes a flag lower from the bottom going up, we will buy the flag. So let's see. The range is pretty good for a flag. So this range is how much? That's 45 pips. We can get a flag in there for a buy. So we're looking for a buy setup. Flag or no flag. Swiss yen. Yeah, it didn't come down. I said we need to break this top. Remember yesterday we said we need to break that top, then we'll consider a sell. Let's wait and see what it's doing. And okay, this if you sold, you could probably be trapped there because that means this go there. You normally wouldn't put a stop here because a running flat is possible. Your stop would be here. So what you would do if your stop is here, this is the first pullback. Now this is where some rules are going to go in. So if you're listening carefully, you might get to learn a thing or two. We either watch it drop back as an expanding flat, or we watch for a consolidation here. Exit that trade and look for a buy setup. Exit the sell and look for a buy. So your stop should be at the top there because the chances are, remember we never broke this stop. This came down. it could have gone back up and then come. So you'd expect a running flat, not an expanding flat, but you still would keep your stop away from it. So this would be your exit for a smaller loss than you actually wanted to. We told you we can get rid of trade much faster. So we're starting thinking of getting rid of this trade and look for a buy sell. Let's see how it goes. Natural gas, sell setup. You probably could have sold a little higher. Keep your eyes on it. If it's not dropping too low, get rid of the trade. Because it dropped quite a lot. We're not expecting it to drop too much. This was a sell and this was a sell. This one might not drop too much. Remember, this is a consolidator. You still need an up move. You need this up again to complete that flat. And then you need it to drop again and then go. So this might not go very far. If you're in the trade, manage it carefully to exit. Right? Let's go with that. Oil. Good sell. Let's see what happens here now. Remember, yesterday we took this out. You actually could have moved it up a little, my traders. Yesterday we didn't have that high. Afterwards, that high was made. You could have put it there. But if you kept it here, no problem. Good sell. Move that into profit. Put your stop here and track it down. Right? So your stop from this trade goes here. And track that down. Let's see how far it goes. It might not go very far. See that? It might not go very far. So keep your eyes on that. Let me pull the top part of it. The top part would be this. So you got a drop, a flat, a drop, a flat. We'll look for a flat here. All right, this 1, 2, 3 is inside, so it will be this flat. It will be this flat here. All right, take this out. This one has a 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, you can go in a flat there. And this is part of the drop, right? This drop. So this drop has drop, flag, drop, correction, drop. This has drop, correction, drop. Not necessarily that it makes another flag and drop. So if it starts to turn from here, exit the trade. Wait for the turn. It can still drop through this structure, right? We don't know that that's the structure it's making. But we'll assume that it could do that. And with the divergence in play here, I think we still have divergence there playing. And this divergence, you're looking at an ABC. We might get a new high. Right? If this stops here and turn, then their chances are they'll go to make a new high. If it drops through that pattern and that divergence changes, well, good, we'll keep selling all the way to the bottom. So now we need to see whether we're breaking through that structure or not. Is that structure a valid structure or is it going to break through? US 30. Okay, let's see if we can get a buy set up here. Still valid. You're getting a flat here. This is... Okay, we got a flat here. That one there. Then you come here, you're making another flat here. This flat is downside. This one comes here. It comes back down here, but you got one flat here, actually. See, you got one flat there, like 1, 2, 3. It drop, you give me one flat here. It drop and make another flat here. Then all of this would be upside. So just wait, leave it there for now. Same here. Yeah, you get a flat and you're making another flat. So if this tag, I hope you closed it there. You should have actually closed it in here if you got tagged and that happened, right? You closed it in there. You don't wait for it. You're supposed to put that entry only when it came down. I think I made that warning. Put the entry order on when it came down. So and when it came down, was this move down? If you put the entry, it's supposed to be above that top or above this top. That's what the entry is supposed to be. Now we're in this. So you made 1, 2, 3. You're making 1, 2, 3. We're not going anywhere. We're stuck here. Take this off. So we got 1, 2, 3. We're getting 1, 2, probably 3 there. And then come back for another 1, 2, 3 here. So be careful with this one. Don't let that tag you and drag you back down, right? If it doesn't get all the way to that top, if it looks like it's going there, you got to be careful with this buy. Because I don't think this will take off, right? It has to take off. If it's not taking off, then if this comes lower, better for us. So we'd like this to actually do this and then go there and then come back here. making this flat, and then come 1, 2, 3, and then we'll buy the buy setup. It's still a buy setup. As of now, it's still a buy setup. And probably the same thing here. Yeah, same thing. Expanding flat. Actually, this one is completed. This one doesn't have to come back. This one could literally go. Keep the insurer above this stop. If it tags you, start to pull back, exit the trade. Look for the exit, right? But this is a complete flat. This could go. Right? This is different. So this one is an active buy. The other ones you're waiting. This is an active buy. Don't take it in here because they can still drop back to the low and then go. Tesla. Let's see what happens to the sell. Okay, we changed that to the buy. Sorry. We're looking for a buy at the top there now. I'll have to put that to buy setup. If you get a flag here, that's a better buy. This one. Okay, that sell tagged you. Let's see where we are in the big picture. 1 hour. You're still in that trade. If you just got tagged, keep your stop above here. If the next candle doesn't break the low, look for an exit. Right, so if the next candle opens here, come here, but not breaking out of that low, but stop, share, pull back, close the trade. Take breaking. Right, the next candle has to go and break the low. We'll consider this an expanding flat here, a running flat there that actually drops. So it's still downside for now. Just manage the trade now. And this one. Pretty much the same thing. This is still downside. We'll consider a running flat here. We'll consider running flat here. So the next one has to go break the low too. If it's not breaking the low, look for exit. If you already closed that trade and put an entry, because you had 3 candles there. So if you close trade, put an entry here, that's okay. Right, we'll see. FR40. Nothing, wait for a flag before you sell, if it's going to be a sell. And Nifty. You can get a buy setup if it makes a flag here for 1 more impulse up. And then we look for the downside. Okay. Let's go. Bitcoin. Everything is correcting now, so good. The Swiss is correcting, CAD is correcting, Yen is correcting. Aussie is correcting upwards. So those corrections will start to make flags, and then we'll see where we go with those. So let's see. This is Bitcoin going sideways, but nowhere. I think all of this is going to be one big sideways move, right? All of this here is probably going to go up 1 more. And we still have this move down. So even if you come there, you might come back here for this one. And then still go up. There's no trade to go in there. Just wait. If you're short term, if you're long term, you're already in the buy. ETH. Okay, we broke the top. Look for sell setups from here. Be careful. If you're going to buy, you need a really good flat. Right? But the sell can happen anytime. This pattern is really flat, so I wouldn't be surprised. Even if they break the top, they're likely going to come back down. Right? I see this more as a downside rather than an upside structure. So even if you break out, it doesn't mean very much. XRP going up. So XRP, I've been looking back at the structure this morning to see what do we do with these sharp move, that sharp move and this sharp move. So initially we had this 1, 2, 3. That makes sense. Now you have 1, and we're coming back pretty deep into it. I didn't think it was because I was looking for this to make a flat here and drop and then go back up. But now that it came back so deep into it, the question is, well, are we making another flat? Could this actually work its way up here? Come here, make another flat like this, and go back up like that. Could we be doing something like this here? Right, within this piece. I think that's a possibility. And then you actually come back to the bottom. So because it's going up so much, go to the 1 hour. If we get buy setups, we can still take it. Right, if this becomes a flat, right now it's not anything. If it becomes a flat, if it stays here and do this and then becomes a flat, we'll buy. Right, if there's no sell setup, it's already pulled back like this, so it's in the middle. There's no buy or sell setup. We need to wait for this pattern to, become a good pattern, then we'll see what it is. Idea. This could be sell. We went up. That was a buy. This is a buy. So this could pull back pretty deep or totally retest the low. See, we have one up, one down, and then we have this up, come back here, complete this flat, go back up there, and still drop. That completes this one. Right? If that happens, what would be the big structure? And the big structure would be simple. You come back here, you go back there, then you come here, and then we go. Right? It's going to be something like this. Come here, and then probably go up. So I would be surprised if we get a flat there. Normally, when you see it like that, you look for the curves. The curve lines. And you look for the top one. So you start to see that, right? They kind of go there, work its way down, go up there, work its way down, make a flat here, come back here, go there, come make its way down, and then up. So pretty much in that range there. Trying to buy. This is actually a buy zone. If you're one of the big accumulators of this specific cryptocurrency, that's your buy zone. See? Here is the buy zone. This is where you accumulate so that you can do this. So everybody, you're accumulating here by buying here, then you push it there, sell it to the believers, and then you push it a little higher and you sell it to more believers, you drop it, get more believers again, and then go there and then dump everybody. Right? So what you do is you'll keep this going for a while. And then up again, right? We'll sell to the believers at the top there because this is your buy zone here. Accumulation. How long can they accumulate, or how long did they accumulate here? Let's start from this point. That was in March 18 to this point, which is in January 21. And let's say 2 years. 2.5 years. This one started here, so that is somewhere in May 22. Yeah, you got a year or two more to accumulate, maybe. You don't have any exact number, but pretty much the accumulation phase is going on. So if you want to be an investor type thing in this, every time it comes to the low, get in the buy. Right? So we as wave traders have an advantage, right? If you're not a wave trader, you do not have this advantage. We have the advantage of knowing what patterns is making. Like this one, we knew that was going to drop. We knew this was going to drop. We knew this was going to come here. And then once you get that, you know it was going to drop. So let's say you bought some here, right? Or here, right in this range. The break of this low. You bought some here. It go there and you see this, you sell. It dropped, made a new low. You bought some here again. It go up, it come back, you see this, you probably hold on to it. Let's say because this was one sharp move. Why you would hold on to that? Because this would go back up at least once more. Well, it's at the top there now. This is your call. What do? You sell. You wait for a flag here. Let's say it's selling, you sell it. You wait for it to come here, go back up there, drop here. Or if this breaks the low, you buy back here, you buy back here. It starts a correction up, you dump at the top. It goes up fast, that's your trade. So even if you're accumulating in your wave trader, you don't have to keep it. You have an advantage of understanding where you can dump and where you can re-enter. And you can do that many times until this move starts to happen. If you were doing it in this range, it would go like this. I'm just going to show a few very quick how it would look like, right? Let's say you were looking for this low and you bought here. This is the flag. It goes up. This is a pullback. It goes up, you stay with this. Once it starts dropping here, making this sideways, you dump. You wait for that to come back to the low. It has to break this low, right? So we're gonna put where that low was, this low here. This is where it broke the low, come back, you start buying. Once the low is broken here, you buy. It goes up, make a flag, it goes up, make a flag, it goes up, make a flag, goes up. You could have actually dumped here because the assumption was it could drop to this point. That's your dump. So you bought here, you dumped there. It comes here, it makes a flag. Good. At this point, I probably wouldn't buy. I would assume that this is still going to drop. So when it goes there, pull back and make this one, you buy at the bottom here. So you dump right there and you buy back right here. And then you're in that trade. Well, now you can decide where to dump or keep. Right? So the idea is that if you wanted to put this at, I don't know, break even or so, but the idea is you would close it there because there's a flag that says it could go down. So the same process here. Any flag here that says downside, dump it. Because it's going to come back to the low. So you're at the top there now, you can go to the 1 hour. And all you need is a flag that starts to say downside. And if you're in any buy from this area here, you dump it, you let it drop. And you buy back beyond this low or at this low for the upside again. See, pretty easy. Manage the trades like that. And you can do that for all of them. So we can just go through very quick. This one is nothing. This is at the top, so there's no point there. Wait for flags to buy. Or can it reverse? Well, this one doesn't have to reverse. This is from a low point, so this could keep going. This is one of them that we think could keep going. Keep your eyes on that. This one, dash. This would come down back. This would come down back. There's no point in trying to buy that there. Now this could keep going. See, this is going from a bottom point, and this could keep going all the time. There's no point in, any flag or flat you can buy. This most likely will come down back because I don't think this is the lowest point. I think this one is the lowest. If this was the lowest, then it doesn't come back. But if this is the lowest, there's a high probability of it coming back. This one, we're in this one. This is the lowest point. But it didn't start going up aggressive. It started going up really slow. See? When they're moving up aggressively like these moves. One correction and go. This made a correction up, a correction up. So I think there's a high probability we'll retest the slope. Right, this one, it could still make another correction and go, correction and go, correction and go, but eventually it comes back here and then go. Then you get that fast move. So how far this can go like that? Well, just keep buying every time you get a correction. And this, I think this is a low, so this can keep going for a long time. All the way back to this top. It could go. Okay, this was the low point. See, that's the lowest point they're going from. So any correction you can buy. This here, this could drop again. This is the low point. That was a big flat. So unless it makes a really big flat here, buying doesn't make sense because you can retest the low and go. So you want to make sure you get a big flat at the top there before you buy. Go to the 1 hour. What was that? That was a buy setup, I think. This was a buy from here. You can actually close it and put an entry above the top, but wait for a flat. So I'll take this out, wait for a flat. And finally, this one also came from a low. I remember this one came from this low and it's going to go up. So I think this could go up a lot more too. This could go up a lot more because you're expecting this to move up. Go up to that top. So let's see if this one climbs to the top there. It came to it's going from the lowest point, so I think there's a good chance it's gonna go. So okay, guys, that's it. That's all we have. It's a long one. So now what we normally do is I'll stop the recording and we will do questions. So if you're in the room, for traders who watch this to the end, if you'd like to join us, register and join us. Because we're gonna stop the recording here for YouTube and we will continue here for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. We'll take questions. I would look at what the trades they're in again, or what trades are tagged, or what trade setups they want. Right? But we have to keep the recording short, so I'll stop the recording here.